I am ranking all 125 Ancestries for Draw Steel. I spent the last week reading all of the original Ancestries, all of the ones handed into Jam of the Timescape 2, and today we're going to put them all on this lovely tier list over here. You might be asking why? Why would you do that? Moving on, let's start with the MCDM Ancestries. To start with, I'm going to use the MCDM ones to tell you a little bit about my ranking system. So we're going to start off with the very first one in the books, the Devils. The Devils are S tier. You can be purple, so all my queer friends are loving it. You have cool abilities, you get wings and a tail. Now, foreshadowing for something later, but I know that those are default abilities. But the thing is, they're not, because this is the very first Ancestry in the book. We've never seen someone with wings before. We might get Ancestries later on that also have wings, but that's not the same as these guys having wings and a prevents our tail, because those traits were designed for the Devils. I will be hearing none of this argument. The second S tier Ancestry for me is the Time Raiders. They are another just really weird one. You can have 4 arms. What more do you want from an Ancestry than having 4 arms? These guys pass the hard and very important trait for the S tier Ancestries, which is they have a cool thing and they run with it. They have 2 double arm abilities. They're badass. They have cool things with their eyes. I've played Time Raiders. I've had players play Time Raiders. It's sick. Playing a Time Raider is the best. One small thing, I would like to point out, racism alert. The MCDM team clearly like them more than the other Ancestries because they get a longer story. I didn't read that story. I'm not reading the stories really that much. I couldn't read all those stories. Sorry, all of you lovely people who wrote them. I didn't read all of them. But the MCDM one, they get longer than the other ones, so racism. Time Raiders are my favourite Ancestry. They are weird, but if you're not including them in your game, you're boring and weird, and I don't like you. A is for Ancestries which are really, really cool, but they have like a major issue. This could be like, they look terrible, it could be that the design is bad, or it could be something like the Dragon Knights. The Dragon Knights are A tier because, while they are very, very cool, if you're not running an Orden, they barely work, because so many attributes, their literal name, they are Dragon Knights, and so many of their abilities revolve around them being a Dragon Knight. So if you want Dragon Knights, super cool. If you want standard dragons, they kind of don't fit, and so for me, they're really, really cool, but they're A tier because of that reason. Memoneks are also here because Memoneks are really, really cool, but they're really, really weird. Again, a lot of their abilities revolve around the idea that they've come from a higher plane and come down to this plane, and that's given them emotions. And so they really put you in a box of what Memoneks have to be. I think they're a little bit more debatable, but I just think they're not quite as good as the other 2 S tier Ancestries, and they're a bit weirder. B tier. B tier is for Ancestries, which are just fine. They're like they don't have anything which makes them as cool to me as the A and S tier ones, but they don't have anything holding them back from being S tier. Often B tier ones are probably better for your game than some A tier ones, in my opinion, but the A tier ones are so cool that I think you should include them anyway. So let's start at B tier with... Okay, first in the B tier is the Woad Elves. They have one of my single favourite art pieces in the whole book. They can be very cool and fast. They are the first to fall foul to the issue is the elves get put in this box where they have certain abilities they kind of both elves have, and that's been taken as standard, and they have the glamour, and the glamour typically revolves around getting an edge on some ability or something else, and so the Woad Elves suffer from being in the elf box, and there is only one elf, if I remember correctly, in all 125 that gets out of B tier and into A tier. MCDM ruined my babies. The elves are the best and my favourite Ancestry, and they are so hard capped at B tier, and it's truly tragic, man. Next up, we have humans. Big racism alert here. They get 2 art pieces. I don't know. I'm suspicious that the entire MCDM team might be humans, and I think that they should really take a moment to think about themselves and think about the bias of only in hiring humans, and should really consider hiring some people who aren't humans, because there's some pretty obvious bias in here. They have some of the coolest traits, right? They get cool powers, they get extra recoveries, they get 2 art pieces. What the hell? Racism. But I just want to think about the fact that in my head, humans are the benchmark. An Ancestry can, if I was doing a binary list, it would not be good, bad. It would be better than humans, worse than humans. Can we call these what they are? Can the TTRPG community stop copyrighting their name for small humans, right? This is stupid. We can't be talking about polders, which are basically halflings, which are basically hobbits. No. Can we just collectively decide on a copyright-free name for the love of God? This is so stupid. This is so silly. But for the small dudes, they're really cool. I don't think they're anything that special, right? None of their abilities, I'm like, wow, I've never seen something like this in a game before. They're small dudes. Good, Solid small dudes. Oh, these should not be an 8. I've been putting these in the wrong place. Okay, let's do a little thing. Where are the high elves? Our final beat here is the high elves. I think they are also very, very cool. Nothing really to note. Cool elves. The same problems as the woad elves, but they're not quite as good. I don't know. I think the woad elves are just a little bit cooler than the high elves. This is also probably bias because, like, I'm running a game with, out of 6 characters, 5 of them are high elves, which is my own bad, but also the truth. So let's get into C tier. C is also fine. Like, you can play them at my table. I just think they have some sort of issue, which makes them a bit kind of meh, you know? Like, there's nothing crazy cool about the C tier ones. They're just fine. The dwarves are C tier because they don't have beards, and that's wrong and unnatural. They won't stand for it, and they would be higher, but they don't have beards, and that's wrong. Their signature trait is cool, and the rest of their traits are fine. I don't think any of them are super cool to me. They're fine. They're just fine. Their art is obviously super, super cool. Solid. Next in C tier is the Hakan, and they're C tier because, okay, the Hakan are big boys, and they're C tier because I think Doomsight is actually not that good a trait. I think it's probably very cool once every 200 sessions. But the problem with it is, one, for one-shots, every time I run this one-shot, I have one player who's like, can I be a Hakan who's Doomsighted? It's like, no, you can't win the one-shot by picking Doomsight. And that means, when is it really ever going to come up? Unless you're running a very certain style of game, I don't know how I would write Doomsight into the game well. It just, it's not it to me. It's really not it to me, and I think it's a trait which sounds a lot cooler than actually playing it, but that is probably a very hot take. And I don't think any of the traits are that cool. Like, it's just like, I am big dude with like big body and strong, and I feel like they're missing something there where there could be something really cool about Doomsight separate. Finally in C we have the orcs. I think they're the least interesting of the classes. Fundamentally, I think they're really kind of boring. I don't think they've got anything wildly cool. They're fine. They're orcs. They're very bog standard. At least they didn't give them like beards or something, or remove beards from them for some reason. The final MCDM one is the Revenant. And I am so mad about this one in particular, right? I am talking to the MCDM team directly here. Why did you give them the 2 traits which are previous life? Oh my lord, do I hate this decision so much. Because there should be a rule that says, hey, we have designed all ancestries for one point of ancestry to be the same as 1 point of another ancestry. Once that is the case, I just wish I had 2 more cool Revenant traits and a sidebar in the rules that says, if you want to mix and match ancestry traits, you can. You don't need our express permission, because that then makes stuff like playing a half-orc possibly. I know that you guys don't think that you can have one parent who is an orc and one parent is a human, but I think that's really cool. You know, Spock exists, and nobody's saying that Spock is stupid or wrong. And you've ruined it because it means that every single changeling, parasite class, undead class who possesses something, every single one of them rates at best 1 trait on, oh, you can take other traits, which is a thing you can do anyway. The game is designed so you can take other traits anyway, right? And if you hadn't done that, the Revenant and every single undead and former life class would get 1 to 2 better and cooler traits, and it would be so much more fun. It makes me so mad, and this is going to come up so many times in this video, and I think it is one of the... I am pretty positive on draw steal as a rule, but the previous life trait of the Revenant is one of the most annoying decisions in the entire game for me, and I want so bad for a revisit of this, where they go, yep, we messed up, here are 2 new really cool Revenant ancestry traits, and you can take traits from other ancestries, just ask your director. That's all it needed to be, and it would have been so much cooler. The Revenant thing got me so heated that I've had to make it myself a drink. The only tier not done there is U, which is any ancestries which I feel are failing as being an ancestry, I can't read them because I'm dyslexic, and or they were D tier with really bad formatting, and or they're just not a draw steal ancestry, right? There's things like that. So we're going to go through these in tier order. So we're going to start off with you, and this is the internet, so I'm going to say this bit just in case, but I want you to know, if you are the creator of any of these three things, this is not me saying that you are bad, that you are stupid, and this is not me saying that people should make fun of you or go after you or that you should never make anything again. It's not a thing against you, there's just some specific things as to why you're in this tier, right? We're going to start off with Krenna, right? And also I'm probably going to pronounce some of these wrong, but Krenna, you are the first bird folk in the book, and I was really hyped to read that. But I'm dyslexic, I literally cannot read the font you have in that. Like, I know that if you probably think it looks really cool, but the white on grey is hard, and then the weird little font there, literally impossible. Like, I would love to understand your ancestry, it's probably really cool, and that has made me have to put this in you because I can't rate it. These are unrateable. The Forge's fun. I've put this in here because you have a lot of D&D language in here, and a lot of design that makes me think that you were designing a D&D ancestry. Feet, poison damage, I'm getting flashbacks to a darker time. And finally, we have one of the first vibes-based ancestries. These are... So I'm going to pause Federica there because she said something really stupid. Vibes-based ancestries are ancestries which don't specifically say what they are. They just generally kind of describe a nebulous thing, and it makes it really hard to say whether the traits are about that thing, because it's like, what is that thing? It doesn't say what the thing is for then you'd be able to say what the traits are. And I find the good ones, that's okay, but on the bad ones, it means the traits just like don't... There's no way of saying, is that a good trait? Is that the thing that this thing is? Or is it just... it's really weird to me, and it's not something I personally like. So you're going to see a lot of them be rated lower because I personally want my ancestry to be a thing that I can describe. And I would look past that with this one, but it has 3 traits, and they're not powerful enough, flat out, for it to be a full ancestry. It's an amazingly written thing. The art piece is amazing. I would rate it S tier for the writing in it. But it has 3 traits. It's not a fully fledged ancestry, and for me, I'm listing ancestries here, and I can't really fairly rate this as ancestry when it's like in this shape. Moving on to D tier now, we have the Blobite. Do you want to be a blob? Because I don't like slimes and blobs. They weird me out. I grew up at the time where all my friends were playing with slime, and I've never liked it. I've never liked that thing where if you hit custard, it's hard. It grosses me out. I don't like it. I don't like it in ancestries. This is cool. It's got a solid layout. In someone else's game, I'm sure this is good. It would probably be C tier on anyone else's list, but I don't like slime. The Voidless, it's pretty standard. It's written a bit weirdly. The layout is solid. There's no art. They would definitely be described as we've mentioned before, a vibes-based ancestry with no clear structure. So I'm not really sure what I'm rating them on, and the traits are a bit weird, and I don't remember them being anything super special. As a rule, I'm not really rating your fiction. Like, I appreciate that MCDM did this thing with, they wrote the fiction for all the car ancestries. I never read it in the first place for theirs. I've literally never read most of it. I listened to it a couple of times when Matt read it out on stream, but I wasn't going to read 125 pieces of fiction. I'm dyslexic, that would take me all year. If I read every piece of fiction in all of these, it would be more fiction than I've probably read myself in the past 3 years, and fiction read by the AI readout voice or my Speak Aloud software is not it, Chief, and it would have taken me a really long time. So I'm just very sorry about that. The next thing, this one's really, really cool. I really liked it. There's no art, which is a shame. The traits are really weirdly written. Again, this feels like the person who wrote this probably hasn't run a lot of Draw Steel to know what it's kind of supposed to sound like, if that makes sense. And there's way too many extra dice rolls for Draw Steel. There's a lot of rolling D3s and D6s, which just I wouldn't want on my table. It's not dyslexia friendly. That's why it's been dropped from a C to a D. So this one I think is about trying to play a character who was someone's imaginary friend, which is a bit of a vibes-based ancestry, and the traits are really random. If I have understood it right, the traits don't really fit that. They don't seem to tell anything. One of my big things here is I want the traits to inform and tell me about the ancestry. I should be able to learn about the ancestry from the traits, and with vibes-based ones, it's really hard, and this one's not. We are the Borg. I was so hyped for this, but it is so mega busted. It's so busted. It doesn't even make it into A. It needs to be D because it's like, it's not busted in a cool, fun way. It's just busted. Also in D tier are the Glozer, the Enlightened, Splice, the Wraith, Yonta, Coven Right, the Somnia, Wodegrown, the Chorus, Primal Ancestry, the Changeling, the second one, Ben Ritz, Songchild. C tier, and I want to start with something, right? This is the Rot White art, and the judges rated this as having one of the worst presentations. And I stand that while I know that the second page of this Ancestry is not well laid out at all, I think it is deeply, deeply wrong for these guys to have been rated so low, below Ancestries which are unreadable, which have art which is just got from the internet. This is obviously someone's actual drawings, and I think that putting your actual drawing in, regardless of how not professional it is better than putting no art in at all. Other people who have no art, and it should definitely be rated above some people who got told, wow, I love this piece of art when it wasn't their art. Now, they might have got it from fair use, but that is so wrong to me, and it makes me actually quite annoyed with the judging, and it's one of my main gripes with the Jam and the Timescape people. This is not to say that I don't appreciate them for running, or if it's not amazing that they ran this, but the fact that these guys came literally last, and I think that should be considered, right? Next time they do one of these, you should get points for putting your own art in above people who have not submitted their own art, or have not submitted art at all. That would be my stance. On the mechanics side of things, there's no customization, there's only 2 points, and the layout, to put it nicely, is kinda cooked. Brother, I love the art on this one so much. I feel like if you'd not made these guys elves, it would have probably helped, because the elf box is rough, man. It's hard to make a good elf. I know, I've made an elf, and it's quite a standard elf. I feel like you could have done a lot more here, and I would have loved to have seen what you would have done if you'd given yourself a little bit more freedom, but the art is so cool. The art is so cool. The turtle art. I love the turtle art. But the -2 recoveries is so bad. It's so crazy bad. I love the idea of the immobile retreat. This one is cooking. You're cooking on a fire. But you could have done more. And I'm so excited to see what you will do with this. I love this one. Cooking. This one's cooking. I love the powers. This is really, really cool. The art is amazing. The traits are a little bit basic. I want more to sell this. It's the same issue. I want more than the swim speed. It doesn't pass the reskinned other Ancestry. That's the big thing for me. But I love the art. And I would love to see where this one goes. I want to play this Ancestry so bad. It's so cool. But it needs a cool Ancestry trait. The size changing thing is cool, but it needs 1 or 2 more things, and oh, it would be so good. It's so close to not passing the reskin test. That's why it's here. I love the idea, but it's just missing a real killer to I love the hand-on dart. I love design. Malleable form is cool, but it's missing a second killer trait to make it go wow, and to make me feel like I'm playing a Wix, but I love it. Please come back. I love the art. Oh, so good. Oh, this one might be pretty hot take, but for me, the Underborn was a huge letdown. I read the first part of it. I was like, wow, this is going to be so cool. And then I didn't get it. Maybe it could be a really cool complication or class, maybe even, but it wasn't a great Ancestry, and it didn't really pass the reskin test for me, and it didn't get me hyped. Also in C tier are the Desertkin, the Bugbears of Orden, the Bloodmane, the Julacid, the Steel Dwarves, the Protein, the Nimdoran, the Liparid, the Deepwalker, the Angelotls, the Windspiel, Trogolith, the Sunscale Lizardfolk, the Quaw, the Poas, the Canny, the Deep Elves, Death Blooms, Puggle, Nebula, the Choir of Saint Sasha, the Echo, the Orantant, the Woad Trolls, the Ghost Ancestry, the Erotis, and the Gargoyles. Okay, so the Stray Dogs are a really interesting one. They have some very cool art, and I was going to tell you about how they're not very dyslexia friendly, and I wasn't very sure about them, but then my guy came back and fixed them. This is version 2 I'm reviewing now. They did add past life traits, so boo on that front, and they are fixed The dyslexia stuff is fixed mostly. The layout was really hard. They completely fixed that. This is who I am trait is this is who I am is one of the coolest traits in here. This went from a D to a B. Really, really solid work. I want a third version of this without the previous life ones. Valkyrie. Oh. Updated since it came out. I really, really loved it before it came out. Very clear goal, very good execution. I really, really like this one. I think it's really good. This is like a very high B for me. Probably my most controversial take here, the Azimuth. It's a really cool concept. It's an amazing layout. It's super dyslexia friendly, super good art. Telepathy is really, really well designed. But is that what the Astounding Azimuth is? That didn't make any sense to me. And I feel that way is kind of vindicated because they've since updated it and had monsters, and they don't have anything like telepathy. It's a really, really well-designed maneuver, but the other abilities are pretty basic to me. It's just like a really solid B tier. I don't think this is one of the most creative and special ones, and I think you're gonna see that when we look through the others. Honorable mentions in B tier: the Kra, the Vanda, the Necromata, the Sun Elves, the Karun, the Feebles, the Corvan Whites, the Woe Folk, Moonkin, the Elucid, the Betley Whites, the Tesserite, the Meteor Bear, the Vassan, the Silicate, the Quarai, the Harmony. Okay, on to A tier in rating all 125 Ancestries 4-draw steel. So I get a suspicion that you quite like FNAF. Just a guess here, but this one is really, really cool. Lots of cool stuff. It's hard for my dyslexic brain to it's low-key hard for my dyslexic brain to read, but please make a set of monsters for this. I want the monsters so bad. The Gorhat. This is one of the single coolest ideas I've ever seen, and I want the second draft so bad. You get to play two characters, play what in one body. It's amazing, but my god, it is so busted. You do not understand how busted this ancestry is. We need a second draft. I am begging. You have to give us a second draft of this. Like, please, I would back this so fast. If you make a second draft of this, I will promote it to the moon. This is such a cool idea. Okay, I want you to go through the emotional journey with me of my notes on this one. Amazing art, created by the Sinlery. Woo! Love Host Eater, love Parasite. No, why ruin it with the grab traits? No! Devourer's OP to the max. It needs some work and more traits. Please, second draft of this. I'm begging. This is another one. I need the second draft so bad. The Araxarai, another created by the Sinlery, which I am biased. I love those guys. Worst host rules, in my opinion, of all of them. Boo, pick trait, boo. Why have we got another of these pick traits from our ancestry? Still not a thing. But the Seeking Form is super, super cool. This one is also cool, but not quite as cool as the previous one. The Soul Elves are amazing. They are the best elf in the whole thing. I see why they did so well. It really does look a lot in the elf kind of template. I think it's really, really good, but it is not dyslexia friendly. And so for me, it has to be an A just because of that. Also in A tier are the Magma Dwarves, the Pale Elves, the Imps, the Opiphosakai, Sonobraz, the Vampires, the Adamant, the Carpet, the Aracana, the Breedlebells, the Satyr, the Changeling, the Galenon, the Skettle, the Carvo, the Anchored. Now we get to the S tier. So starting us off is the Free Spirit, is a vibes-based ancestry. It's one of my favorites. It has the mimicked ancestry traits, which is bad, but Gift of Rebirth is one of the coolest traits I have seen at all, and this is one of my favorite phase in the whole thing. Dude, in the words of the judge, squid, spooky skeletons. I don't know why you came so low. I just love this one so much. Probably super based, but I love it. I love it so much. So, we're about to get serious for a second, people. The Garden Pixie, they forgot to post their ancestry in time, and I'm so sad because it is so cool. It is so cool. So I'm going to be really serious for a second and give them some really pointed, some actual feedback. So please, I know I've been very silly up to this point, and some of my picks are a little silly and a little memeable, but this I'm about to be seriously. So I'm not sure why you put the wings in as a signature. I'd rather have 4 points to spend and be able to get wings than not. I love Garden Affinity so much. I like the other abilities, but Poison Gardener is a little strange. The other abilities, but Poison Gardener is a little strange. I feel like it could have been 2 1-point abilities so that I have more choice. I would 100% have this at my table. I love it. Good job. I'm sorry you didn't get it in time. Crabble, I love this little guy. I love the idea of him building a house on his back. The judges have beaten wrong. I love it. I love all of it. What is not to like here? Probably the best in the little guy class. I love this. The judges are wrong and mean, and I'm mad about it. The Schul Trader, brother, you are cooking. I don't know how you came 74th. I will actively push this ancestry at my table. It's a really, really cool water people's class. I love it so much. Full disclosure, this one got S tier the moment I opened it, just for the little guy. I love him. I don't know how you're so low. You're going straight into my world with the Woad Elves. I love it. The Uruks are one of the first to be updated. They are super cool art, super cool idea. Just 100% check these guys out. The Philo, cool art. They're so cool. They're so cool. It's hard to read for me though a little bit, but I love it. I love it so much. Love the Psychic Spider from Outer Space is amazing. I love the art. It's in landscape. Boo. Landscape. Boo. It had been changed 12 days ago when I was writing, so it might have changed up a bit. Really, really cool traits. I would feel like a spider playing this one. I love the section on playing spiders about how best to play, how to understand it. It's one of the best. It's so good. It's been updated. Check it out 100%. The Vemcal, they're really, really cool. I like them a lot. I love the idea of the way the randomizing works with the traits being quite generic. So once again, I'm going to pause Frederica here because she's being an idiot. The Vemcal is super, super cool. The way it works is your traits are randomized, so each trait is actually quite generic, and that works super well here because they're constantly randomizing. And this does the best job of the random traits thing of all of the ancestries. Did anyone else see this one and immediately think of Leela's parents from Futurama? I love the vision dice. They added stuff. Wow, it's really, really, really good. Would 100% recommend this one. So cool. Love it so much. I love the Magnifix. It's not the best dyslexic thing, but it makes up for it because it's one of the best vibe-based ancestries. It's got so many cool traits. Love it so much. All of the little bonuses, they are amazing. The Oaklings, 1T, Oak Cap, sign me up. The Home of Horror is what made this S tier for me. This is such a cool ancestry. It is S tier. It is now paywalled, but I would 100% recommend checking it out. It's amazing. I love it. Big bias alert on this one, but I think that my friend Seb was robbed because the Apidems is so cool. You have a child and you get to spend the ancestry points, and they will have limited bonuses, and as you use them you slowly decay until you have to die and be reborn. It is amazing. It is so cool. You have to go check it out. It is amazing. It deserves so much love. I love it so much. Obviously huge bias alert. The Udaman, unless I'm mistaken, this is one of the first demons we've come across. I love the art. It just gets better and better and better. I love it. Check it out. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's nice. It's been updated. Nice art. It has flesh remembers. It has like a remember previous ancestries. Boo. But it just gets so good. It's a really, really solid changeling. It's one of the best. It's slightly hard to read, but I love it so much. It's probably one of the best changelings in here. That was S tier. 2 final things. If you want feedback on your ancestry, I do have notes for every single ancestry, why I rated them the way I did. So if your ancestry didn't make it into the full cut of the video, then please drop a comment down below. I'll reply with why I rated it where I did. Finally, I'm going to leave you with recording Frederica, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her ancestry and ask you to rate it in the comments below. So stick around for that. Finally, we have my one. I got flamed because they do turn into an elf, into a mermaid when they get touched by water. But that is because I was inspired by H2O, which I get is a slightly weird reference for Draw Steel. Please vote where you want it. Vote where you think it goes in the comments below. I also just thought you'd like to know, I'd leave you with this, that this was in fact the 67th one on my list, which I thought was really funny. So yeah, thanks so much for watching.